Welcome to episode 7, the Pool Pump family. This was a request from the r/Reddit subreddit. I'm going to build this based on the IntelliFlow 3 BSF pool pump by Pentair. I'll include a link below in the description. This won't be a parametric family as it is a one-off. This should make this much easier to model. I see this pump as 4 discrete parts. The filter here on the left, this chamber area, this flange, and the motor. I'll try to keep the geometries to these 4 discrete parts when modeling them. I'm going to take a screenshot of this and save it to my desktop. Next, I'll insert it into a view and scale it to match the reference planes that I'm going to draw. I'll start by creating a new family from a template. I'm choosing a generic model family to start, then I'll switch the family category to plumbing equipment. I'm not sure if this is the correct category for pool equipment, but it'll be a good start. Let me know what category you think this should be in the comment section. For the requester, let me know what category you need this to be in the comment section. Thank you. Let's build out the rough boundaries of the geometry. I'll speed this part up to reduce the tutorial total length. I'll add a few extra reference planes for the center of the geometries and name them. I'll place the image in the other views as well. If you notice, you'll see the drawing doesn't match 100% with the given dimensions in the cut sheet, but that's okay because we're just going to place it in Sketch. I'll place the image If you notice, you'll see the drawing doesn't match 100% with the given dimensions in the cut sheet, but that's okay because we're just going to place it in Sketch. For this filter, I'll use the revolve geometry. I'll sketch the profile as I see in full, and then I'll delete half of it and draw the excess about that half point. And then when it completely revolves, it'll be symmetrical. I'll rename some of these reference planes to flange and motor so that when I draw an extrusion, I can host it off of that plane. I'll go to the left view and sketch the flange profile. This is a simple extrusion from front to back, and I'll use the flange reference plane as the work plane. Next up, in the front view, I'll use the extrusion tool to model the motor chamber. Then I'll draw the rough boundary and clean up the line work. In the floor plan view, I'll sketch the chamber, then change the height and elevation. I'll create a reference plane up here for the top of the out nozzle, and I'll name it out. Back in the floor plan, I'll clean up the depth of the extrusion for the rear motor chamber. You can even take a moment to create a void extrusion here to round out these corners. At this point, there's not much needed to visually identify this as a pump, so an extra detail is for your own preference. If you wanted to use this for visualization or renderings, you'll have to add more detail. I'll take a moment to clean up the reference planes and geometries. I'll draw a reference plane here to locate the nipple. And use an extrusion tool to create the nipple, and then change the elevation. Measuring this, it seems like it could be a 2.5-inch nipple for the pipes. Let's go to the plan and create a round extrusion here. In the front elevation, I'll change the Z values. I'll do the same thing for the front inlet, create a reference plane with a center line, name it in CL, create an extrusion and set the depth. I use the center mark visible parameter to lock it to the vertical and horizontal reference planes. This isn't necessary because it's parametric, it's just a habit that I get into. I'll draw some small feet for the chamber to sit on and use the extrusion tool from the front plane. I'll extrude the form from the front and back face plus and minus 3.5 inches. Let's create an object style called pool pump filters so that it can be controlled in the project. I'll associate an OmniClass value, and after fooling around and searching, I settled on external pools and ponds. You can find this location by searching through your C drive for OmniClass taxonomy, or going to C Program Data, Autodesk, RVT in your version number, and the user data cache. Next up, I'll add pipe connectors so we connect to the system in the project. I'm using a 2.5-inch pipe and not making it parametric for this video, though you may want to if you're going to use this in multiple projects. I'll create an electric connector and choose controls for the system type. I'll add a second electrical connector for the power and give it the connector description of automation. When you start with the non-electrical family category, you're going to have to recreate the voltage and apparent load family parameters. I'm going to save the family with the CSI spec section of 13, 11, 49, and filter pump, and I'll load it in. I'll save the project as well. When loading it in, you can see the 4 connectors that we created. Let's make a pipe for the in pipe. While trying to draw the pipe, I noticed the routing preferences didn't have an elbow selected, so load some in and choose that type in the pipe settings. I'll choose PVC for this default in the project. It might be a specialized PVC in your discipline, I'm not sure. I'm just going to speed through all of my fumbling to save you a bit of time. I'll also draw a pipe from the out connector. Before we use this family, take a moment to edit it and delete the images that we imported and copied around. You could take some time to clean it up further and make sure that you apply materials to the geometries. If I were in the pool industry, I'd make the family a bit cleaner and associate an annotation to the plan view so we could show it on plans easier. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if anyone has a special request, please send it along. Cheers.